Just get your mind together and come on across to me. We'll hold hands and we'll watch the sun rise from the bottom of the sea. But first, are you experienced? Have you ever been experienced? Well, I am. Probably scream and cry that your little world won't let you go. Who in your old measly little world are you trying to prove that you're made out of gold and it can't be so?
Well, as you can see, the sun is starting to go down, the light's getting lower in here. And this morning when I woke up, I looked at my phone and it was 911 stared me in the face. I thought, that's amazing. Must be a special day. And so I got up and made this video of the Crossroads. And I just finished making that video, and it seems I'm making another video. My eyes, at the end of the last video, my eyes looked up and I saw this movie that I hadn't seen. I watched it maybe a year or so ago, 2 years ago might be even at this stage, and I didn't like it at all. I hated it. I don't even know if I got to the end. Yeah, I think I watched it all. It's not the sort of movie I kind of like would have rated very much. Yet I thought somehow this needs to be looked at now. So I put the video on and I watched it again. And it's an amazing video, especially for this time. Okay, and so it's really the dark side of the Crossroads video, and maybe it's the light side, I don't know. They do say you got to be crucified to be the Christ, you know, it's like... Anyway, I've just rendered the Crossroads video and I was watching it back. And something came to mind which I've now forgotten about. So maybe I can't tell you what it was that I was thinking about, because when you speak like this you have to have no memory. Only what can come into your mouth can you remember. To remember means to put it back into space, from time into space. Okay. So it's important to realize that all the gods were men. All the gods were men. And this movie demonstrates that. You see, this old man in the movie is really a god, but the people on earth who he's living amongst don't know it. Yeah. And so the whole idea of the gods is a parable, really. It's also true. This is a funny thing about it. And this movie is about the final crossroads that you have to go through. If you're a coward and you just don't raise yourself to the challenge of the crossroads and think you can just eat your way and live your way and sleep your way through the rest of your life, do nothing to save the world, to save the planet. And so if you do that, you end up being taken out in World War III. And this movie is all about World War III. The nature of World War III is that the evil is fought and against the not good enough. The not good enough fights the evil, and in the end the world is purified. So that's what this one is. And this guy with the bow, is the one who is learning that lesson. He's still kind of involved in evil, Yet, and so he has to fight, but he's helped in a way. He makes it through the battle to the end, and in that way he gets to become a higher level god. He becomes immortal, yeah, and he's like that old man then, who doesn't get involved in the fight. He just watches from the heavens above, yeah, which is in the garden, okay, the paradise lost that's still there, yet all you lot are excluded from it because you haven't done your work yet. So that's not to say, not to be critical of you, it's just to say, well, your time has not yet come, and your time will always come before you get the final crossroads. If you're going into the final crossroads, then you were called and you didn't respond to the call. You may be watching this video and you haven't yet been called. And so the purpose of this video and the previous one, the two go together really, is to give you some kind of guidance as to how you should behave when you're called. And you'll see this movie, the critical thing is cowardice. You cannot be a coward and turn away from the truth and not fight evil. It's necessary to fight evil, not be a coward. That is the teaching. Okay, and to fight evil, you fight evil by doing what I'm doing. You don't tackle evil by doing what these guys are doing in here. What these guys are doing in here is because they didn't listen to the little Christ child who came 2,000 years ago to tell you what you should be doing, and didn't follow that way. It wasn't thy will be done, thy kingdom come. It was, oh no, that's, I don't know what that means, so I'll just live my life, eat, sleep, drink, and wait for Ragnarok. Okay. Now Ragnarok's come, and Ragnarok is gonna, you're all gonna be forced to fight the evil. Dog's barking a little. You're all gonna be forced to do it. And if you are the evil, you're not watching this video. And you won't be able to help yourselves either. So, the Immortals. Now, you go back and see what I had something to say about this Immortals movie. I can't remember what it was. I'll just actually go and have a look. It obviously just came to me in my mind. It didn't actually come from the movie. The movie must have just triggered it. It was a thought, and by the time I got myself ready to do the video, it had gone. It's necessary to catch these things as they happen, otherwise they're lost forever. And this is why I'm speaking this, because this way, whilst I'm sitting in front of the camera, you're getting everything that's coming to me, which is important. And there must be something. I get a little message that says there must be something else. I just want to say, this movie is a horrific movie to watch. Yet, when I watch it, I'm not horrified by it. There's something about the righteousness of it, that the evil gets destroyed and that the ones, somehow everything that happens in this movie, nothing horrifies me about it. Don't know why that is. Even though it's the bloodiest movie I've ever seen. I don't know if it's because of the guy who made it. It was made by the same people who made 300. It doesn't even have the name of the director on it. You know, that's not good that they don't put the director on it. Have you noticed that you can't read the backs of these things because the writing's just too small? Crazy, really. I got a feeling it was the same guy. It's a Dutch guy, isn't it? The same guy who wrote The Perfect Storm, did A Perfect Storm, I think. If it's the same as the director of 300. And he's a good director, and he's got this special style that is bloody and very graphic. Yet somehow you can watch it, I don't know why. And in this movie, there's something at the beginning of the movie, some words. And you'll see that if you watch the movie, you'll see what these words are. And they're at the beginning of the movie, and they're at the end of the movie. And they're absolutely true. They're true, these words. And I'm not allowed to remember them, so if you want to know what these words are, you're going to have to watch the movie. I think you should watch the movie. I think you should make it a point of getting this movie and watching it. In fact, it's a required course to actually watch this movie. Okay, now we're going to get to the required course. This is why I'm saying it's required course. Now, on this pathway, there are certain things which are a required course. And these things may change from generation to generation. The required course, when I was going over this, was you had to do the Course in Miracles. You had to read and work through the Course in Miracles and I had to do it with a group of people. And many people came out of this Course in Miracles group, and a bit like what I'm doing, this Course in Miracles was channeled by, I think he was a New York doctor. No, that's another one. There's the ORSP, which is another one, the ORSP. That's something else I had to read. And the Course in Miracles. And Eileen Caddy was involved with the Course in Miracles. She's the Findhorn person who established Findhorn. And I met, when I got involved with the Course in Miracles, I met this guy, John McDonnell, and he was part of this group. I helped him with his play. He took me to the Course in Miracles, so I got involved in his group. This was his group. And the Course in Miracles, they got copies of it, photocopies of it, at Findhorn. And their job at Findhorn was to make further copies of this and distribute it. And so they kind of looked after these teachings that had come. And Helen, I can't remember who it was, who channeled the Course in Miracles. It was a lady, I think, a couple. And so it has its origin, if you like, as part of the 60s movement. And it's similar to what's going on here, is that somebody has to make these teachings, and other people have the job of distributing them. It's not up to the person who makes them to distribute it, and it's only, you can't do anything. God makes it so that it puts people on the crossroads. People are put on the crossroads, say, will you see the importance of these teachings and look after them and do something with them, whatever God calls you to do with them. And so that's the kind of test for those people. If they pass the test and distribute the teachings, then that's good. And I did the same. I had the same thing with John McDonnell. I had to help him with his teachings and help him to get those into book form. So the journey is the same for everybody. You have to do all parts of the journey. There's no part that you can leave out. And this war, this fight of good against evil, you can't leave that out either. I had to do lots and lots of that work. And it's because I've done that work in a time when it wasn't total evil that I'm now allowed, I've got to the point where I don't have to be involved in it now in this difficult time, because I've already done it. I've already done that part of the journey. And I also got the bow. This bow is also a part, this journey to the bow, through the bow, and everything, and Athena and all that. The lady's Athena, the man is this guy, and you have to make a bow, and then you have to give the bow to your lady and let your lady fire a few arrows, and it's kind of part of the journey. And it's part of the journey where the demons are released from Tartarus, because the demons are enclosed, the worst ones are enclosed in Tartarus. And so to bring in the end times, what happens is these demons have to be released, so there's more demons in the world so that things can get worse in the world. And it's years since these demons were, I think the demons probably were released in about 2008, something like that. 2009, I'm not sure. Some time ago, and you can see that the world has degenerated. There's more lies in the world and so on. And the demons are now to take over the cowards, and cowards can't help themselves. They just become kind of a symbol for what's wrong with the world, and then the children of light are supposed to argue and fight and cast them out, cast these demons out of the temple, which is the meeting house really. And you'll see that in this McCarthy, and there was another guy who stood on the Crossroads in the Senate now. I can't remember his name, but he was very, very well. He played the part on the Crossroads, and he never gave in, and he wouldn't join with it. He didn't vote for McCarthy, but he stood back and said, right, thy will be done. McCarthy got in. McCarthy was on the Crossroads, he was on the Crossroads. You can see it nearly came to fisticuffs. And for you, Mark, who haven't got the strength that he's got, or he's in the will that he's in, wouldn't do it. You wouldn't, you wouldn't even start to argue and fight against the powers that be, the dark side, because McCarthy was a warmonger, yeah. He's supporting the Ukraine war. So all of the demons are all warmongers. You can see that in this movie. They're the ones making war, yeah. And that bow is the ultimate weapon. I suppose it could also symbolize the atom power of, they have these plutonium-filled nuclear waste projectiles that now they can fight and blast through concrete and stuff like that. You see that in this thing with this bow. The bow, the real meaning of the bow is that this is associated with the time in which the demons are released, and they're put back under the earth when the war's over. When the war is over, we can start again. That's the thing. That's it. I'll leave it at that. It's a long video and a short video. The Crossroads and the Immortals. 2 videos you got to watch. And there's also some other videos that you have to watch. And these are on Rumble, and if you search for the channel called Adam of Bremen, no spaces, you will find the videos. And they're also a required course in this time, just like the Course of Miracles was my time. Okay.
You can just get your mind together and come on across to me. We'll hold hands and we'll watch the sunrise from the bottom of the sea. But first, are you experienced? Have you ever been experienced? Well, I am. Probably scream and cry at your little world won't let you go. Who in your neat little world are you trying to prove that you're made out of gold?